All right, on the phone, Dino McCord from the new band Red Voodoo. Dino, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing good. It is great to talk to you. Now, I have to tell you that I would have come upon your band sooner or later because I follow everything that Frank Hannon does. But sometime a few months ago, and I actually looked for this today and I could not find it. When I was posting about one of my radio shows, what music I was going to have on the show, somebody in the comments put, "Look out for a band called Red Voodoo." So I checked out the band. I said, okay, who's Red Voodoo? And I came upon your YouTube channel and I saw you guys doing Van Halen covers.
Yes.
And at the time, I had no idea how old any of you were. And I'm watching this and I said, this band is really good. I said, and this singer has really good stage presence, man. This guy.
Thank you.
I said, you're welcome. I said, this guy's seasoned. You know, you're playing what some club, Opera House or something like that.
Yeah, that's up in Roseville.
Okay. And then I think somewhere along the line, I said, oh, they're working with Frank Hannon. So again, I would have come across you. Then it was Memorial Day because Frank Hannon, he never seems to take a day off, that guy. So,
yeah, for sure.
So he was in his studio on Memorial Day mixing Rise Up. And he goes, let me give you a little taste of this. And he played, the chorus. And I said, wow, this sounds really good. So next thing you know, the single comes out and basically it has exploded. Let's talk about your upbringing with your parents. Were they into rock and roll? Were they blasting rock and roll? Were you always into rock and roll? Tell me what it was like growing up in the McCord household as far as music goes.
Right. So as far as music goes, my parents have been very supportive always throughout my music. If it's sports, music, whatever. Right. So my dad is actually the one that got me into music and rock and roll. He was in a band 30 years ago called Treason. Mm-hmm. And Frank Hannon actually produced his band 30 years ago. So they already kind of knew each other in a way. They were acquaintances back in the day, and Frank actually tried to help my dad make it with his band, but that kind of fell through.
What kind of music were you hearing in your house? Where, I know...
Oh, man, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, of course, the Black Crowes.
Okay. So
I was surrounded by it a lot.
I know a lot of young people, they get raised on rock by their parents, but, inevitably they like it, they respect it, but, they go out and they get into different types of music, whether it be, hip hop or EDM. Was that ever a thing for you, or did you strictly say, no, man, I love rock and roll and I'm sticking with rock and roll?
I strictly just said, I love rock and roll and that's about it. I tried, a lot of my friends from high school, they're like, hey man, listen to this, the rap and all the digitalized kind of music, but that wasn't my thing, man.
Now, always correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I had heard or read in one of your interviews, the thing that really put you over the top to wanting to be in a rock and roll band was your dad took you to see Sammy Hagar on the Circle.
Yes.
Tell me the story.
So, so this was my very first real big rock concert, and he took me down to South Lake in Tahoe, and that was Harrah's, I believe. And, man, this was Sammy Hagar's group with the Circle, Michael Anthony, Vic Johnson, from the Wobbleitos, and, of course, Jason Bonham on drums. And, just walking into the concert, just seeing all the people and the lights and the stage, I was blown away, And I knew some of Sammy Hagar's catalog before, like I Can't Drive 55 and Heavy Metal, One Way to Rock. But, man, when he busted out that Van Halen stuff and just him at, I think it was 70-something, up there just dancing and singing and making everybody just really happy out there, I was like, man, I want to do that, right? So I got home, and I started playing 0812 and 5150 over my speaker, and just belting it out, because I really wanted to be a singer.
So from that, is that where you guys formed the Van Halen cover band?
Well, actually, a few months later, I went to Y&T, and that's when I was ready to try to form a band. That's when I wanted to form a band. I wanted to go to a local club to find members, and that's where I found Nick Rock, my drummer in Red Voodoo.
Okay, and then what happened from there?
From there, we found another guitar player that, for reasons, we had to let go for scheduling reasons. But then my pops, who I said earlier was in a band 30 years ago, he helped us play bass for a little bit.
Nice.
Until we could find, a permanent bass player. And Nick said, "Hey man, I got a bass player up in, Amador County. His name's David Loyler." And just to say, we still had this guitar player at the time that we had to let go. So my dad stepped down from bass, and David walked into my garage, and we auditioned him. And we're still and by the way, we were Red Voodoo at this time. We were called Teaser.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just our cover band name. And we auditioned David, and, so we let this guitar player go a little bit down the road. We probably played about 2 shows now. And David goes, "Hey, man, I play guitar." We're like, "What?" I'm like, "Dude, you didn't even tell us that you play guitar," right? So it was like a magic moment, man, I'm telling you. So Damon goes over, he brings in his EVH guitar, of course, right?
Yeah.
We're being a Van Halen, cover band, and he brings in a EVH, right? And he plugs into my Marshall, and he just starts playing Eruption. And Nick and I look at each other and go, "Oh my, wow, this dude is like the real deal," right?
Yeah.
And I swear it was just like Eddie Van Halen. And so my dad went on to bass, and this is where we kind of got our start playing the local clubs. We would advertise us as, Teaser, Van Halen tribute band, Sammy Hagar, and Dave era, right? And, we kind of got our start from there, and just played, 4-hour cover shows all around NorCal scene until, now we're doing originals with Frank.
Right. And, your whole band is good, but yeah, David is a smoking guitar player.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy that young. How did he get so good at such a young age? I mean, he appears to me just to be a virtuoso is what it comes down to.
Right. He's been playing since he was like 3 years old. So
Yeah.
He's been growing up with music his whole entire life.
So your dad had kind of known Frank, but you took it upon yourself to reach out to Frank directly and said, "Hey, man, I got this band."
I messaged him and said, "Hey, man, I got this band, Red Voodoo, and we changed our name because we want to get serious about doing originals, you see." And I said, "Hey, Frank, I got this band, Red Voodoo, and we really want to take it to the next level." I said, "I don't know if you do this kind of thing with bands. I know you got a new up-and-comer, JT, but I just wanted to see if, I could get a shot, right?" And he messages me back, and he says, "Hey, man, call me Monday." And I'm at school. And I'm sitting there at my desk, and I'm going, "Oh, crap, Frank Hannon just texted me." I was like, "Keisha, can I go outside and, celebrate or something?" No.
Yeah, hall pass, please.
Right, so Frank actually, it was Monday, and he calls me and he goes, "Hey, man, I want to invite you. I saw some videos, just like you've seen videos, of me singing on YouTube."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "I wanted to invite you down to play with me. My Frank Hannon band's playing Folsom at the Powerhouse Pub." And he goes, "I want you to sing Tesla." And I'm going, "Oh, what?" I'm losing my mind because he's saying, "Hey, I want you to come sing Getting Better by
Right.
Tesla." And I got to tell you, I haven't heard that song until he told me to sing it. So I had to stay up till about 3 a.m. in the morning just practicing Getting Better, right?
Right.
And, I thought I was going to do Rock Candy or, because he plays other covers too, not just Tesla songs. So I thought I was going to do something like that, but no, he wanted me to sing Tesla, right? So, anyways, we get to Frank's house. He invites me and my pops before the show, and my dad and him catch up and stuff, because it's been 30 years. And then, he invites me up to his studio upstairs, and it's him and an acoustic guitar. And he goes, "Hey, man, let's sing Getting Better just acoustic." And man, I was drenching in sweat. I'll tell you, man, I was so scared. Sitting there with all the guitars around, and But man, that night, it was a really great night. And after that show, we killed it on stage, getting better. And it kind of went from there. But since it kind of went dark for a little bit after that show, because COVID started to hit, and everything kind of shut down. Frank was also on tour before that,
right?
So there was really no contact, right? Until the song "Rise Up" came around, and we started talking about that.
So he had heard "Rise Up," but did you guys just send him a demo of it?
No. So what happened there is, Frank's really big on the song, So about 2 months ago, when COVID was really deep, and I live in Sacramento, California, of course, and I live downtown Sacramento. So it was really, really sad and desolate and kind of, very lonely down here. And, I was just walking the streets, and people were dodging each other, and everyone got the masks on. It didn't feel normal, As a teenager, it was like, wow, you're a 2020 graduate, and all this stuff is happening, right? So anyways, I decided to go take a drive by the river. I took a drive by the river, and I just kind of thought to myself, how I felt, how I was feeling, how people were feeling, with all this stuff going on. And I got home that night, and I stayed up with my notebook and an acoustic guitar, just writing down and singing what I felt. Now, the next day, I sent a little video clip to Frank. I said, hey, man, I got this song. Tell me what you think, right? And he comes back, and we get on the phone, and we start talking about the beginning of Rise Up.
That's how it was born, the song Rise Up.
Right. Yes.
That's great. That's a great story. What made you reach out to Frank specifically? Were you reaching out to a lot of people? What happened there?
So, I didn't really reach out, because we did some demos before with another studio guy. But with Frank, it was pretty much all because of my dad, because he told me stories about him, back in the day, how he worked with him and how well that was. And I was like, all right, and he's local. That's the big thing, is he was local. Yeah. So not only was he in a very successful band, but, it was easy to get to. Didn't have to fly anywhere or, like that.
So now, Frank brought you guys out to his ranch to record this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Did Frank put you guys to work on the ranch first to say, let me see what these got as far as a work ethic?
Right. That's kind of the thing we have going on right now.
I love this. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
I'll tell you, man. After this phone call, I'm gonna go do some more work up of his ranch.
There you go.
It's kind of a trade, is the best way to put it. We give him, work on his farm and work really hard. All four of us, all four guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're mowing the lawns. We're tearing down branches. Pulling weeds, and in return, he helps us out with music and his creative mind, and that kind of stuff like that.
That's a beautiful barter system. I heard Frank say that by watching you guys work around the ranch, he got an idea of your work ethic. So if these guys could go and do manual labor and be into it and work hard, he knew that was another factor in your work ethic as a band.
Right.
Yeah, that's hysterical, man, that he did that.
Oh, yeah. And it really shows, we want it. We're hungry for it, we got the passion for it. So
yeah,
we're going to do everything in our power to make sure, we can accomplish our goals.
I love that, man. Now, again, Rise Up is doing phenomenally well. As you said, it was inspired, you talked about how it was inspired. And, I got to imagine at 17, it's got to be even more of a blowaway of like, what the hell is going on in the world?
Right.
So it really hit you. What was going through your head? How much of it did you understand? Here you are in high school, and, high school, it's all, you're having a good time, you're getting ready to graduate. Most people in high school are not really concerned with world events and all this other stuff. And then all of a sudden, the biggest world event ever just comes up and hits you. Emotionally, how was that for you?
Right. Just to put it this way, it's a Friday at school, and you're at lunch, and everything's normal, And the next day, everyone's saying, "Oh, you got to stay in your homes now because there's a virus outbreak." And they're going, "Whoa, we don't really know what's going to happen." I'm a swimmer. I do competitive swimming. My swim season was over. Didn't get a prom, senior prom. We barely had a graduation. So it was really hard. But the main thing that really kept me going is my music.
You got your bad feelings out about this through your music, through this song.
Yes, exactly. And I also wrote this song about hope. Rise up.
Yes.
As the song is called.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, tell me what you're doing here with your. I want to hear it from you. The proceeds from your merch. Tell me about this that's going on.
Yeah, so it's always good to give back, especially in these times. So the proceeds, we have a thing going on right now called the Rise Up Bundle. You can find it on redvoodooband.com. Comes with the exclusive Rise Up T-shirt, a couple of Red Voodoo Rise Up guitar picks, and an 8x10 autograph photo of us signed. And all this goes towards the Directly Foundation, helping the healthcare heroes on the front lines battling the coronavirus.
So where did you guys come up with the idea, you know what, we're going to give this money away. We're going to give this money to charity. Whose idea was that? Where'd that come from?
It was kind of a collective discussion between us four guys and Frank, and we did it mostly because of, the pandemic that's going on right now. People need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
So just to give back was just, it just felt right in our hearts.
That's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. Now, I know you're working on a full length. Is it an EP or is it an album?
So we're doing an EP right now, Once we have the phone, I'm going to practice. And we're going to write some pretty awesome songs coming up. We got some really good ones. And, it's just a lot of writing. But, yes, the EP is the goal right now. Okay.
Any time frame as to when it will come out?
I can't give you a time frame right now. We just want to make sure the songs are the best they can be.
All right, Dino McCord from Red Voodoo. Everybody go to redvoodoo.com where you can pick up this bundle. It is well worth it. By all means, purchase the single and keep your eyes on Red Voodoo. They are up and coming, young rock and roll band, which is what we need. Dino, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jay.